Okay, so I saw that Little Bill posted a video that was about Karrine Steffans. Now, I've actually talked about Karrine Steffans on this channel before, but I feel like he did just so much more justice to it. But actually, we gotta go back because Khadijah, like I said, really huge loss that we're taking as Khadijah is leaving. But Khadijah made a really great video about, it wasn't even just about Karrine, it was about video vixens in general, right? Now, I don't know, that was like maybe that was just me and where I came into this conversation, which is super late. So I gotta say, like, and I heard, I will repeat it, but I guess the term is like cornbread tube, which I didn't know that was a thing, but that is a thing. So all of the other video essayists who participate kind of in the space but aren't male, so the females, I guess, are called cornbread tube. So I guess Tino R also made a video about that. You should go watch his recap if you have no idea what I'm talking about, but I highly doubt anybody here has no idea. Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. And he just reminded me of Karrine's book. And so I just went to the library has this app called Hoopla, and I just literally went on the site and I downloaded the book. Now, this book actually I've listened to the first 3 chapters, and it definitely brought me to tears. It made me very sad. But I want to talk about, and I posted this today. I said, as we're entering this month of September, where it's kind of considered like a blackout to an extent, not to an extent, it's a serious blackout. Like, many black women are basically saying, like, we're not going to buy shit in September, and that's what's going to happen. I think Afro Think Tank has been, I'm trying to get some good lighting here, that's why I keep turning it. Afro Think Tank, in my opinion, has been posting, that's all right, kind of. Not really. It's just I can't catch a break. So Afro Think Tank, I think, has been posting some pretty interesting commentary, but he posted today about mothers. He was like, why do so many black mothers and daughters have these challenges? This is what he says. Now I heard that and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Except, like, you'd have to be like a total fool to not have seen, like, this isn't a new theme. And so to go back to Karrine Steffans's, the first 3 chapters of her book really talk about how her mother hated her. Her mother hated her, and most likely it's because her mother hated herself. I kind of want to talk about this in relation to my grandmother. Like, some of you guys have found my content from me talking about my grandmother. My grandmother she looks very much like Tina Knowles. So, if you know that type of aesthetic, that's what my grandmother looked like in all the ways. I don't think my grandmother liked herself very much, because I do feel like not only has she not gotten to a place where she decentered men, but she really cared about the opinion of men. And because she never entered the workforce in a real way, like, she never had a career, it was almost like her entire ability to live was determined by her treatment of men. Like, that was her form of survival. So it's like she had to rely on her husband for, like, monetary survival. It was like her going to college was so far removed because of things like racism. Like, that's another thing where I think it just gets real tricky when people try to talk about how we've come so far in this country. Like, my grandma was alive for a very large portion of my life, and because of, like, racism, she would never get an education. Like, she only got up to, like, the 2nd grade. Like, that's how far her literacy went. She was literally illiterate and couldn't read. So, like, going to college was so far away from possibilities for her, and not just for her, for so many, like, all of her sisters. And it's just, like, insane how people really think we've come so fucking far because, like, TikTok. It's just pathetic. Like, but there were some notes and just some things I wanted to talk about from, like, re-listening to this book, because this wasn't the first time I've come across the book. I read this book when I was in, like, middle school, ironically. Like, definitely not a book I would encourage any person to read in middle school. Like, that is an awful book to read in middle school, because, like, contextually nothing would make sense. But I kind of feel like middle school girls need to read the book. And I don't know, maybe the middle school girls now just are on, because I was also reading like The Coldest Winter Ever and Fly Girl in middle school, so I definitely think I was reading some like black fiction that it was just way, like, I shouldn't have been reading that shit either. But like I said, Tashi was like the role model in the group, so we had quite a lot of access. Okay, anyway, so let's go back. So I'm at the part basically in the book where she gets raped. So it's really fucking awful because of the way that this plays out. And this is where I really want to talk about how important it is for black women to see yourself as like literally something outside. Like, we are not members of this system. Like, the system is going, and the system around you, whatever, however you see it, could potentially be working for other people. So you might see like a white woman doing something, a Mexican woman doing something, an Asian woman doing something, a man of any race doing anything. All of that has absolutely nothing to do with us. I think that these are like just facades that they put up to try to be like, we are all equal. And this is the reason that I see America ending. Like, not even in some like, oh, hypothetical way. This is why other countries, more dominant countries, I've been watching a lot of stuff, the stuff happening in Burkina Faso, which seems really great. It seems like they got 1,000 machines or something to build roads, all type of really cool stuff actually happening in Ethiopia. Like, there's a bunch of reasons that it's just better to leave. But I also wonder, like, there's a certain amount of, it's not just dehumanization, it's like patheticness in a way. Like, why would you ever want to have a system that is like this bad and then goes on for this long and then legitimately never try to fix it? And sometimes I look at black men strange, because even listening to Afro Think Tank make this video now, it's kind of like, why do you feel this way now? Like, why now? Obviously, like, because I feel like black women, right, like, not even if you're not on the cornbread tube, have been coming on making videos about mother wounds and toxic motherhood and the awfulness of some black mothers. Even the exotical space covers this quite a lot, but there have been no men there. No men have come on to be like, oh, we feel so much empathy, we want to like solve something, we care. They haven't cared. Like, not in the past, but also not now. So I do think it's a bit strange for everybody to pop up now and be like, this is a big issue. No, it's fucking not. Like, what I do remember, and I can't remember, well, I sort of remember there was something that happened a while ago with Monique. So Monique's was having, I can't even remember, it was all these things happening with her relationship or something. Like, she was the moment, the talking point of the moment. And it was something about something she was saying with her boyfriend or some shit, but all the other black men started chiming in, and specifically DL Hughley chimes in. Now, I don't know what the beef was with those two people, but basically Monique started taking shots at his parenthood, saying like, you're a bad father, blah blah blah. He responds to her, and this response still sticks to me with this day, and maybe I'll go like find it and clip it. But he basically said, I bear no responsibility for anybody else's children. The only children that are important to me are my children. And he was basically talking about how, you know, he's done his job personally as a father, and his daughter is doing really great, and his daughter got on and validated it. And so those two people in this society were like, we're doing great. And you know what I would say to that? Fuck him and all the men like him, because like, listening to Karrine's story reinforced something for me that I have known for a while, and it's the men as a collective are the trash. It's not one individual man. It's all of them. It's their offspring, it's their nephews, it's their church community members. The whole fucking group can go, and not in a like kind of arbitrary way. Like, it's really bad. So I'm just going to tell you like the very Cliff Notes version of this story. So basically what happens is like, Karrine's mother is just evil, but she seems to be very gorgeous, but she's also like black and gorgeous. And she maybe, I don't know how, I couldn't even point to some celebrity right now who kind of looks like her, but the way that she described her, maybe even like a little bit more Spanish than Beyonce, like Beyonce-esque, but like more Spanish looking. And that's kind of the way that Karrine is describing her mother. And Karrine's mother does not like Karrine, just as a person. It just seemed like she didn't care about her. Anyway, so they moved to Florida, and in the story so far, we have all of these examples of really domestic violence where the mother's just like beating the shit out of Karrine for doing something or just being evil to her. Right, so we have all these examples of that, and then they moved to Florida. Now, I've heard other people come on here and talk about Florida. I know at least the black people we seem to know from Florida are like the City Girls, Choice TV is from Florida, the guy from The Read, they're from Florida, and there does seem to be some interesting things about Florida with anti-blackness. So there's like the Spanish version, and then there's like the black version, and the races never mix. And there seems, I don't know, because like I've never lived in Florida, so I couldn't really confirm this, but that does seem to be the issue, the overwhelming thing. Anyway, so Karrine and her mother moved to Florida. She joins this new, she's not in a group. It's actually like she doesn't have any friends. She's not popular at all. And then like she kind of makes one friend who's is like, we're going to quote that because the story gets pretty bad. Anyway, so one day the friend basically is like, hey, let's go to the mall this weekend, and my mom's going to pick us up from the mall, and, whatever. So that's the plan or whatever. So they go to the mall. This is the first time that Karrine's ever been out without parental supervision. So now she's like at the mall with this friend, and supposedly the mother comes to like pick her up, but it's not the mother. It's actually a group full of guys. Now, Karrine at this point is 14, and the group of guys are all 17 and 18. They all basically go back to this apartment. In the apartment, not obviously all the things, but basically there's one guy from the group. She's kind of attracted to him a little bit. He's sort of attracted to her, but they've only known each other for 3 hours. So, 3 hours after meeting, basically, they decide, I don't even know how, it's very strange. They've decided, though, at 14 that they're going to have sex. So there's a couple things here about this that are interesting. Like, first of all, Karrine seems to be like interested in sex, but she doesn't know anything about sex. So because she hasn't had any friends or anything, she hasn't talked to anyone about sex. Her parents aren't talking to her about sex. So she just doesn't even know anything. But just in 3 hours, she decided with this stranger, like, it seems like he was attractive to her. Like, they describe him as having like, black hair, green eyes. The way that she's describing her attraction to this guy, there's some positive, endorphins running. But then very shortly, while they're in the bathroom trying to have the sex, and she's like a virgin, a 14-year-old virgin with a 17-year-old high school student, the whole thing, she basically comes to terms of like, oh my God, I am not physically ready to have the sex. He actually cannot have the sex with her after trying for 15 minutes, and it doesn't work out. And so she's just like, they both go back into the communal space, I guess, of this apartment situation. But there's another guy there who seems to be the leader, and she kind of describes this dude as a black demon. Like, she's like, he's got these violent eyes, he's like very dark skinned, he's like unattractive, but he had basically been eyeing her. This is what she describes in this chapter. This is chapter 3. So, like, listening to her say this, it's like very clear she's like setting us up to like understand that this is about to get bad. And the strange part about this is there's already some man from the friend group who she's kind of had an intimate relationship with 5 minutes earlier. But all the guys had gone back and talked to each other, and they've decided in 5 minutes, because there's only 2 girls here. So there's 2 girls, and it sounds like there's like 3 guys. So now that this guy is actually now going to try to basically rape her because she's not attracted to him and she was not talking to this new guy. So they end up going to like a new house or something. She kind of thinks that they're gonna drive her home. They're not driving her home. They drive past her apartment. to this house, and then basically this guy starts raping her. Basically, as soon as they get into the house, he basically just like holds her neck down and starts raping her. So she describes that. But the weird part about all of this is like these are all teenagers, so and including the one who's her best friend, who's her age and goes to her school. There's 2 beds in this house or something, and they're sitting right next to each other. So it isn't like they're even in a different room. Like the 3 other young people are watching her virtually be like raped, and they're just like talking and sitting right next to her. And then I guess like it was so awful for the guy too that he ends up getting up and walking away, and then coming back, and while he's gone, he gets the other guy that she was talking to initially to hold her legs down while the other guy goes for a second. And all of that to me showed this is what when I talk about society, this is what I'm talking about. This isn't like a new like space of like other different people like coming. How do I say it? It's not new people coming into society and then them participating in like negative activity. It's more like these people are already here, and then they are they are conditioned to do the things like this. Like, who in their mind would see that and be like, this is normal, this is like, this makes sense, this is a regular part of life? Like, what? It's like, I don't I'm gonna actually go back to my notes here, because like there's I guess I tried to take as many notes as I could, but I got through all of the main points. The part that I think is strange about this is the way that I heard Little Bill talk about this situation. It wasn't that it was like out of the ordinary. And also this book came out in 2004. So like me listening to it as an adult, something that happened in 2004, I'm in a very different place. Like that's quite a lot of years that have gone on, right? And so I have like an adult perspective now, and like the way that he was talking, I mean, he did basically give it a trigger warning, and he's like, I would encourage you to just skip over that whole part of the book. But I honestly wouldn't encourage you to skip over that part of the book, because there were other people in the society, and this is always like this. None of these things are happening in isolation. There isn't some island where like this awful thing is happening for Karrine as an individual, and then, you know, no one else sees it, no one else hears about it. It's not that. It's that it's happening with people who are like raised up near her, like her neighbors. Like it. So then it gets to a point where they end up running away from the group, but they are there the whole night in that, like, I don't even know what to call house. Like, so they're in this like house or whatever. The morning time comes, and they kind of make an escape plan to get away from the group. They do end up getting away from the group, but that is not even the point. So they get away from the group and end up getting to a payphone. At the payphone, they're actually able to call the friend's mom, and the friend's mom comes to pick up the girls. Now the friend's mom is a social worker. Right? Like, come on, that hits like another way. Like, she's a social worker. So the way you listen to Karrine describing this, and she's like, yeah, she's a social worker. She was supposed to help me, but she didn't. So basically, you know, the mom of the friend, who's the social worker, and the friend take Karrine to her mom's home, and her mom opens the door and immediately like grabs her arm and says, you smell